I'm life and business coach Samantha Sifring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. So today I have a really fun topic for you. This actually came directly from a self-coaching session that I just had. So I was just coaching myself. I was thinking about my clients and creating value for them, thinking about my audience and creating value for them, really thinking about all of you and how I can deliver more value to you. So here's what I know. There's a lot of you listening who already work with me, and there's also a lot of you listening who don't work with me yet and really want to. I hear from you all the time that you really, really want to join Mama to CEO and that you are working really hard to make the money to join. So if that is you, this episode is specifically for you. Now, this episode's about how to make money, so this episode is really going to be useful to everyone. But I specifically came up with this thinking about those of you who really want to join Mama to CEO and are working so hard to make $2,000 before you join. Now, I don't think that you have to earn that money in your business before you join. And I want to be really clear about that. I think the best way to make money is to be working with a coach who's helping you and guiding you and giving you all the tips and tricks and tools and all the things. But I do know there are some of you out there who have situations where you are working really hard to make that money. So here's the deal. I sat down and I thought about this. I thought about what do they need to do to go out and make $2,000 quickly? Because I was thinking our next launch for Mama to CEO is happening in early December. It's happening in that first full week of December. I think it's the week of December 7th. And so thinking about those people who really want to join that week, I thought, what would make it so easy for them to say yes? And it would obviously be having that cash in hand. That's the easiest possible way to say yes. So I asked myself, if they're working towards that, what are the things that they really need to be doing? And then that morphed into what are the things that they really need to be thinking? Because the list of things that they need to be doing, this is going to sound very familiar. Telling people what you do, making offers, being visible, believing that you can, having confidence in what you offer. These might sound familiar because I talk about these things on the podcast very often. So this episode, I wanted to walk you through the thoughts that I identified, the $2,000 thoughts, the thoughts that are going to help you make $2,000. And truly, these are money-making thoughts in general. So the first one, I can help them. This one is so important. You need to believe that you can help people. Whatever it is that you're offering, you need to believe that it's going to do good for people. Those of you who listen, you are not the kind of people who can just go out there and sell scams to people. Like some people can do that. Some people are excellent at selling scams and pulling the wool over people's eyes and like hurting other people. My clients, the people who resonate with my work, they aren't those kinds of people. They have to recognize, you have to recognize that you can help people, that your work, that your product, that your offer helps people. And you really need to believe that that's true. You really need to see how that is true. You also need to believe that people want what you offer, whether it is virtual assisting or graphic design or house cleaning or bookkeeping or coaching, whatever it is, you need to believe that people want it and that they want to buy it. You need to believe that there are people who are looking for your solution to their problem right now. And then I want you to also think and believe that you just have to let them know. You just have to let them know how you can help them, what you do, what their next step is. This thought of I have to let them know, when it's coming from this belief of I can help them, it creates this amazing feeling of being compelled to get out there, to tell people about how you can help them, about how you have this solution. It's so empowering and it's so attractive when you genuinely have that feeling and those beliefs inside. It absolutely magnetizes people to you. I also want you to believe that it's okay to be imperfect. So many of you have this idea that you have to be different than you are right now to help people, to get results in your business, to have success, to make more money. I don't believe that. I think who you are right now is good enough to hit the goals that you have, to help people, to show up in the world. You don't need to get better. There's a lot of people out there teaching that you need to become a different person or you have to be better or all of these things. Who you are right now is enough. It's good enough to help someone and to achieve your goals. I really want you to lean into that belief. I also want you to really believe that you can charge more. So this one might break your brain a little bit. This one might make some people uncomfortable, right? But I want you to really sit with this. Some of you are vastly undercharging. Some of you are charging like $10 and $20 for like an hour-long coaching session or craziness like that. Some of you are charging $10 or $20 an hour for your VA services. Some of you are out here making a $40 logo for somebody. Stop. Some of you are selling like $7 courses. No, just no. Can we stop all of that low price stuff? Those types of offers maybe are more appropriate for a scaled business, if ever. Some of those prices are just not appropriate ever. I want you to really think about what is the industry standard. If you're a new VA, you can be charging $30+ an hour. You can actually be charging based on value for a package, which is what I teach in Mama to CEO. I really like value-based pricing instead of hourly. If you're a coach, you can start at the equivalent of like $100 per session. Okay? I want you to really value what you're offering. I want you to take it seriously. I want you to consider doing a one-on-one service or delivery for your item. So, that would be not doing courses. That would be not doing groups. Because if you are the person listening to this who is working towards their first $2,000, you could get a whole $2,000 from one or two yeses instead of like $210 courses. You see what I'm saying? If you don't have a very big audience, if you aren't getting a lot of yeses, you need to shift to where you have a product or a service that you are selling for a higher ticket price. Now, I'm not saying just jack up your prices and don't back it up with value, but I don't really think any of you would do that. I think that all of you always think that that's what I'm saying, but none of you would actually do that. So you need to actually look at, how does this apply to me? Am I having low self-esteem about what I offer and then not charging appropriately for it? Am I trying to have some kind of beta price because I don't have a lot of confidence in what I'm offering? I want you to look at that really critically. And I want you to consider having that simpler business model, doing that one-on-one. I wish somebody would have told me this. I created so many courses when I first started my business, and what a disaster, right? I really didn't have much of an audience. It was just goofy. I could have just been out there simply selling a $400 a month or, $1,200 for 3 months, something like that, one-on-one coaching package, and made some really good money. And actually, a year into my business, I made that shift and I started getting clients. I think I got one client in my first month, a couple more clients in the second month, and it just kept building from there. So I highly recommend that you look at that and really think about, how does that apply to me? Now, I know whenever I give coaching examples, sometimes, you can question, does this really apply to me? I want you to think about that. How does this concept apply to me, of a higher ticket thing to less people instead of trying to get tons and tons of people at my lower priced thing? I also want you to believe that you have value to offer. I was recently coaching a client of mine who is still working towards her 5K month goal. And what we discovered is that she is trying to believe, she's working on the belief that she has value to offer. And I was like, seriously, why is that not just a given? Why do you not just own it and know it like a true fact? And I think I even told her, the sky is blue. I have value to offer. These are things that are true. I just know they're true. So I want you to really sit with that. I want you to think about, what is the value that I have to offer? I want you to actually do a huge brain dump about it. I want you to journal, write down, or voice dictation, whatever. As many different things that you can think of about what is the value that I have to offer. As women, we are conditioned to diminish the value that we have to offer. We are conditioned to question and diminish if it's really that unique. I was coaching another client recently about how she comes up with these ideas of content to put out there, and then she thinks, well, people already know that. So then she doesn't share her wisdom and insight out there. And the thing is, truly, the things that you think everybody knows that are just innate to you, that you're well, that's not value, that is a lie. Those are typically the things that are most profound to your audience. I don't know why that's true, but I have found that to be true every single time. Every time that I think people already know this is not that special, is when I get the most engagement, the most comments, the most people saying this is the thing that changed everything for me. So I want you to decide right now, I have value to offer, and I want you to explore in your mind, what is that value, until you are so overwhelmed with evidence that you never question your value again. The last thing that I want to share with you in the topic of $2,000 thoughts is this one. I can do this. I am in control of how much money I make. And I want you to really sit with this thought. I want you to look at how this thought is true. This is something that I teach in Mama to CEO. That if you aren't making money, if you aren't signing clients, there is a reason why it doesn't feel safe to do so. One of the things that it might be is what I just talked about at the beginning of the podcast episode. If you don't think that you can help people, you're not going to want to sell to them. You're not going to want to take them on as clients if you don't think that you will be helpful. If you think charging money from people is hurting them, you're not going to get clients. If you think that you can't deliver to them the thing that they want, if you think it won't be good enough, if you think it won't be valuable, if you think people don't want it, if you think you don't have time for clients, right? So you need to look at why, if I haven't signed clients yet, if I haven't made money yet, why might that be a protective thing that my brain has been doing for me? And you will find the thought error there. And then there's probably a podcast episode about that exact topic that will take you through how to overcome it in your mind. All right, mamas, I know this one was hitting the spot for a lot of you, and I really look forward to hearing about you making money. So if you heard this podcast episode and then you went out and made money, I want you to tell me. Come over to Instagram at SamanthaHMS. If you tag me in your stories, I will share it. I always share the stories that I am tagged in. I also would appreciate if you shared it in the reviews, especially if you're listening on Apple. That gives the podcast a huge boost. It allows people to find us when you give me reviews. So if you listen to this, if you love it, if you made money, tell me all about it. I really want to hear all the details, especially when you hit your 2,000 following this episode. And I look forward to seeing you all in Mama to CEO. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com, mamatoceo.com.